Hey guys, it's Christina. Welcome back. So, as you saw by the title of today's video, we're doing the first wrap-up of 2026 and the first single month wrap-up in a long time. I thought it would be fun to bring those back, at least try and bring them back this year, because I want to try and read a lot more this year. I think I said this in my 2026 bookish goals, but that's besides the point. And this month, I read 6 books. I read 3 physical and 3 on the Kindle, so we're gonna be talking about those today. I'm also in the middle of 2 books. I thought I could finish one of them today, but that did not happen. It's on the Kindle. I'm only 29% in. So, but we're enjoying it. We just didn't finish it today. Anyway, these are the physical books I read. I actually do think I'm gonna try and go in order of how I finish them, but I do think the 3 first ones are the physical ones, and yeah, so the 3 first ones are the 3 physical ones, and the 3 last ones are the on the Kindle ones. So the first book I read in 2026 was Play Along by Liz Tomford. I'm not sure if it's Liz Tomford or Liz Tomfordy. If I am saying that wrong, let me know, because of course I want to say people's names right. But I gave this a 4.5 stars. I loved Kai. I love Miller. I really loved Miller, and I loved her character development. I also loved seeing Kai with his son and their relationship. This book is about Miller, who is a chef, a pastry chef, and Kai, who plays for the Windy City Warriors, and her dad is the coach. His book is In Her Own League, and he hires her to nanny Kai's kid, and that's kind of what happens. And like I said, this was a 4.5. I really enjoyed my time reading this. I loved both characters. I like their storyline. I like how it makes sense. I had all of that together. It just didn't give me the 5-star feeling. That's why it's a 4.5, but I really like this book, and I love this series. I feel like every book I read of this series, it just gets better and better and better, and I cannot wait to also read Rewind It Back and In Her Own League. But the next book I read was Play Along by Liz Tomfordy. It's bent here, ignore it. And I gave this a 4.25. I have a couple reasons for this. I loved Isaiah. I get it. I understand why everybody's in love with him. I just didn't rate it as high as Cut Up because I was a little bored with what the plot is. The whole marriage of convenience, and it felt like a little bit like a filler in a way. I wish we focused more on Kennedy's family drama or something like that. I just feel like I was not reading some things that were going on in a sense. I love this story, but as a plot I was a little bored, if that makes any sense. But this follows Isaiah and Kennedy. Like I said, Isaiah's Kai's brother, and he also plays for the Windy City Warriors, and Kennedy is their team's doctor, physical therapist, I believe. And basically they get in a marriage of convenience because they get caught basically getting married in Vegas while they were drunk. So that follows them and in their relationship. And again, like I said, I did enjoy it. I just thought, as for the plot, I was missing maybe some dramatic elements, I guess you can say. Then the last physical book I read was Lobithona by Romina Garber. This is a fantasy. I'm going to tell you guys what it's about first before I get into what I thought. But this was a 4.5. This follows our main protagonist, Manu. I already forgot her name, Manuela. And basically she lives in Miami with her mom. They are both undocumented citizens of the United States. They're from Argentina, or her mom's from, they're both born in Argentina, and they went to Miami. She is trying to save her mom one day when she gets deported by ICE, and instead of doing what her mom tells her to do, she kind of follows this one truck that she's been seeing around her neighborhood, and she ends up in this mystical, magical fairy tale world where she finds out what her dad's family is, because she doesn't know who her dad is, and what that entails. It centers around Argentinian folklore. It centers around witches and wolves and their relationship with the human world and so on. And this was so good. There was not a moment I was bored. I was intrigued the whole time because you're kind of learning with her what this world entails and why she is how she is, and why a lot of reasons, right? And there was not a moment I was bored. Sometimes I struggle with paragraphs in fantasy books because they can go on and on and on trying to describe a place. I did not struggle with this book for some reason. It was just that good. It was a 4.5, like I said. Why is it not 5 stars? Because it seems I have no complaints. Basically, they didn't give me a 5-star feeling. That's about it. And yeah, I have it's a duology, so I have the second book right next to my bed. The second book is definitely gonna be one of the first books I read in February after the 2 that I'm reading now. So yeah, that was book number 3 in January. Then, now we move to the Kindle reads. I read one arc. I read Quite the Pair by Catherine Kincaid, and this is a not really hockey romance. It's like two lovers book, and this is number 3 or 4 in her series, but it follows, I forgot the characters' names, but it follows our 2 main characters, and our male main character, he is an ex-hockey player, now owns this hockey rink where he trains kids and, all of that, and then it follows our main protagonist, who's a figure skater, who is now pairing up with our main male character's brother to skate together. And basically, they don't like each other in the beginning. Something happens, I think he scratches her car or something, so where it begins a dislike to lovers. And I really enjoyed this book. It was just a fun romance. I gave it a 3.25, and the reason I kind of gave it a lower rating than I wanted to is because I wish we had more. I wish we knew a lot more from our main male character's divorce. I wish we knew more of our main female character's divorce. I just kind of wish we knew more about both of them, and I wish we saw a lot more of our main female character training for the competition. I feel like that's such a fun element, and I wish this author expanded on it, but I did like this book. I had a fun time reading it. I read it really fast, and like I said, it was just a fast rom-com read. And this book comes out February 26th of this year, so if you guys are interested in reading it, you should go and pick it up if you're into ice skating / hockey romances. And again, thank you, Ned Galley, for this arc, and thank you to the author and Victory Editing for the copy. Then I read The Long Game by Rachel Reed, and thank you guys. We found our first 5-star of 2026. I love The Long Game. I thought it couldn't get better than Heated Rivalry. I was wrong. This book made me feel so many feelings, especially of course for Ilya, because we see a lot more of Ilya's feelings of what's going on. This book obviously follows Ilya and Shane trying to manage their relationship while they're still playing hockey, while nobody really knows besides their close friends, and you kind of see a lot of that. I only do have one critique about this book. I wish we knew more about how Shane was feeling. I feel we focus a lot on Ilya, and that's great. I don't want to take anything away from that. I just wish we knew more about how Shane was feeling, because our boy Shane feels a lot, and I feel like we don't see a lot of that, but it was still a 5-star read. I love how it ended. They're just them growing as people and growing in their relationship and communicating even after a while. It's a 5-star read. I can't even explain it's 5 stars. And then last but not least, I read Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. Last summer, you guys know, I read Problematic Summer Romance, and I rated that 5 stars. I rated Not in Love 4 stars. I really liked this book. I enjoyed our girl Rue and our guy Eli. Is it Eli? Yes, it is Eli. I love their dynamic. I know in the beginning of the book, Ali Hazelwood puts in a warning. She's like, these people have trauma, so the way they cope is not normal. And I think that makes it easier going into this book and not expecting a lot of emotional connection compared to what a normal couple will look like, I guess. At least not in the beginning. Not in Love is about Rue, who works at this scientific food related company. I'm not as smart as these people, don't ask me about that. And then you have Eli, who works for this Fortune 500 kind of company, who just bought the stocks where Rue works, and it's a whole shebang. And basically it's forced proximity kind of situation, and affair, friends with benefits kind of situation, but that's what it's about. Like I said, this was a really good read. There's only a few things that brought it down. I kind of wish we saw more filler chapters, if that makes any sense. I wish we saw more of their relationship. Like, I kind of just wanted more of them. And there was this one comment that Eli made. I don't know if I'm allowed to say. He basically said, if this is a spoiler, I'm gonna put the timestamp for we can skip. But Eli basically said that if I had married my ex because he was previously engaged, he would have struggled with not cheating on her with Rue. And that I was a little like, oh, like, Dad, you don't say that. Oh, that's an inside thought. That's an inside thought. And that really bothered me. That's why I was knocked down. But like, and it just kind of also felt out of character that he said that. So that's why it's still 4 stars. And that's why I still really did enjoy this book. And Eli and Rue, I actually liked a lot of these characters in this book, which I learned that not a lot of people like Rue, which I was like, oh, I don't know, I kind of like her. I kind of get her. Yeah, those are all the books I read in January of 2026. And as for my current reads, I'm reading another arc. I'm reading, I think it says, it's called Better Than Before. I'll put the cover here. I'm not that far in, so I cannot tell you guys too much about it, but it's definitely, our main protagonist is in her, like, she's older. She's in her 40s, I believe. Her daughter's my age. So it's gonna be interesting reading a romance book where definitely the age gap between me and our protagonist is gonna be like big, so the experiences and thoughts are gonna be different. And then I'm also reading Gloves Off by Stephanie Archer. I'm loving this book. This is a marriage of convenience as well compared to Play Along, but it's a little different. He needs to get married so he can stay in Canada. She needs to get married so she can get an inheritance, and they don't like each other. They actually hate each other. And this is the first romance book where I'm like, this is definitely leaning more towards like hate to love more than the other ones. The other ones are more like dislike to love. This is definitely leaning like more hate to love. And their banter, like, it's not flirty. At least in the beginning, it's not flirty. Besides a few comments that she makes to rile him up, it's not flirty. They don't like each other. They truly want to piss each other off. Like, he put all of her shoes, she's a big shoe girl, in the trash. So I'm really loving their dynamic already. Like I said, it's only I'm only 30% in, so that line hasn't been crossed just yet. But I'm really enjoying this book. This is a Vancouver Storm series, and it has books like Behind the Net. It's a really great hockey series. It's one of those series that, again, like just like the Windy City series, it just gets better with every single book. And book number 5 and the last book comes out February 3rd. So we're gonna finish this before February 3rd so we can pick up the very last book in this series. So that's it. That's the books I read in January and the books I'm currently reading that we're gonna finish probably today, most likely in February. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye!